So in the last video we saw about data types, and in this video we are going to see kind of an activity based on what we have learned now. So you might have already known of it. So it's the BMI app, and it calculates a person's BMI based on the height and weight. So the formula for BMI is weight in kgs divided by height squared in meters. So if you think about it for a minute or so, you might see that you can do everything except this particular operation, which is powering a number. So in Python it's very simple. Let's take a number pi, and if you want to power it to 2, which is pi square, you just have to put 2 multiplication signs between the numbers. So this basically means that you are taking the number pi to the power 2 and doing whatever you want to do with it. So let us start by taking the input from the user. A equals to input. Let's say the user to enter your weight, and then in the next line let's take an input B and say the user enter your height, and most probably people will enter their height in centimeters, which we don't want. So let us actually specify that piece of information. So in meters. So that's pretty much the input part. Let's go to the actual BMI. Let's store it in a variable called BMI and say A by in brackets B to the power 2. So you want to put this number, kind of not the number, the bracket, because just as in usual life, Python gives priority to division more than addition. So if you don't give this bracket, what will actually happen is it will divide A with B and then multiply the quotient with 2. Actually power the quotient with 2. So let's save this and open up the terminal and run it. As you can see, let's say my weight is 52 and my height is 1.72. It gives an error. So what's the mistake here? Well, if you didn't notice earlier, the input what you take from the user is actually a string. So this input method uses the keyword and takes in strings instead of numbers. So if you want to mention numbers, you actually have to take the input you received and convert it into a number. You can't directly take a number as an input in Python command line. So what you can do is you can use an inbuilt functions in Python. More on that later if you don't understand. Basically for now you just have to use the float function. Well, this is a beautiful implementation of the data types that you learned, because height and weight can be in decimal places rather than whole numbers always. So let's convert this also as a decimal number. Actually, yeah, and one more bracket. So now it's done. Let's save it, open up the terminal and run it again. Actually, instead of this blank text right here, you can actually put semicolon and space to make it look a little more neater. Save it, remove this, Okay, just random inputs to get an error. Clear the screen and run it. So 52 kgs I am indeed. So 1.72 meters I am indeed. And it doesn't do anything because I didn't tell it to. So let's say print BMI. So in this case it will take the variable BMI and actually print it. So again let's run it. 52 1.72. As you can see my BMI is 70. I guess I am underweight right now. Yeah, maybe. So that's the BMI app. If you find it interesting, like this video. Actually, I have a bit more modified BMI app coming up, so subscribe and stay tuned for it. Thank you and see you in the next video.